Another important activity was started only last year was the Wood4Bauhaus Alliance. And some of you may have seen this earlier, of course, in our communications and so on. We have created an alliance with several other organizations, and this is specifically to respond to this new European Bauhaus movement, which was launched by the Commission. And we used this very nice slogan from Professor Schellenhuber, reforesting the planet, retimbering the city. So actually what we also discussed just before in Wasserchauen, how to connect forest resources, wood products, and how to bring them more into the building sector, into the built environment. So what has happened, let's say, the last years is that the European policy also discovers wood as an interesting material and as an interesting solution for climate problems. The Renovation Wave was launched in 2020, and it already also refers to organic building materials and nature-based solutions. And this will actually be really a guiding framework for or an important policy part of the European Commission to implement, let's say, their wish to propose new solutions for the economic recovery, but at the same time, of course, also to green the economy. And the building sector was identified as a main, as Professor Schellenhuber puts it, the big elephant in the climate room, because the building sector is responsible for 40% of emissions globally. Yeah, if you look at the whole processing and the whole chains and use phases connected to it. This study that is cited here from the PIC Institute is also a major, I think, publication that stimulated this. In this, let's say, study, they sort of demonstrate this hypothesis: could the building sector act as a global carbon sink, and could the building sector actually help to decarbonize the atmosphere by storing carbon which was let's say converted into timber through the biosphere, through forests mainly, but all kinds of other plants as well. And how can this be stored for a long time into the building environment? All this debate and discussion, which started already 2020 and even before, has gained much more attention now, because climate change is just happening so fast and so rapidly, and every now and then you get new surprising peaks and new how you call it, superlatives. Yeah, all the time we break some climate records. So this is why this debate is gaining so much attention now, on the national level, but also, of course, on the European level. So everybody was very surprised when in her State of the Union address, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said this very remarkable statement: we know that the construction sector can even be turned from a carbon source into a sink if organic building materials like wood and smart technologies like AI are applied. And following, there were even further communications. There was also a very interesting presentation or speech of the President at an online conference at the beginning of 2021, where they started to launch this new European Bauhaus idea. When we were starting to think about the project, I was skeptical about investing in wood as construction material. Today, I'm a big fan of organic materials, organic building materials. They are not only good for the climate because they don't need CO2 in the production process, but they even store it later in the buildings. So this is really, the Bauhaus Initiative is really, let's say, a project of the Commissioner and of the President. It's not embedded immediately in, let's say, a hierarchy or a structure, but they created it as a co-creation movement, sort of to stimulate this debate about the building sector. And a major kickoff was this new European Bauhaus conference in April, where you had 2 days full of speeches from various angles, also looking at the international dimension, looking at affordable solution, looking at the social side, but also, of course, looking mainly at building, at architecture, and how can the building sector be sort of become a solution to transform the economy, to transform the building sector into a more sustainable model with all the benefits and challenges, of course, around it. But it's also, in a way, the first time that you really see the European Commission communicating not so directly about wood, but it often implies wood. Of course, the Commission always has to be sensitive to these issues. They have to remain neutral, to not favor one sector about the others. And that's why the wording that they use is mainly about organic materials, about nature-based solutions, and so on. But more and more, it becomes clear that, of course, wood is a strong, one of the major resources that they are discussing there. So when we got wind of this new European Bauhaus, we set together actually with the European federations representing the wood sector, and we had this idea to create an own initiative. To create an own conference was the first idea, but then we also immediately sought the possibility to create basically a coalition of our organizations and start communicating together about this topic here in Brussels and specifically also in the sector. So the alliance comprises several umbrella organizations. Innova Wood as the network for research, innovation and education, the European Panel Federation as the representative of the wood-based panel industries, the European Confederation of Woodworking Industries, which is actually an umbrella organization which has also different member organizations representing the wood industries, the forest owners, and so on. Then we have the European Federation of Building and Woodworkers, which is actually representing the trade unions and the, how you call this? So actually the workers' representations, the federations. And last but not least, the European Organization of the Sawmill Industries representing sawmills. We launched this initiative with the support of our projects Basachraun Wood Circus, and also the InnoRenew Center became involved. They are also basically a co-funded teaming project from the EU. And Andrea and Mike from InnoRenew also supported really the launch of this. We have created this first website where we describe the alliance and we also document our conference. But the idea is, of course, to continue this once the new European Bauhaus is gaining more attraction and more speed. So the conference was held on 8 April. We spent a lot of effort to prepare this well and make a nice first event. So it was a full day program with 15 presenters. On the side, we did a lot on social media to promote the event, and we were very successful because 1,200 participants registered for this day. And of course, not everybody followed the whole day in detail, but we had 800 participants online at the peak in the beginning when we had all these nice speeches from the keynote speakers. And in the following, we received a lot of communication, a lot of positive feedbacks, a lot of interest to join the alliance, to be involved. So this was a very successful activity, but which required a lot of preparation, of course, with all these actors and presenters. So you can follow the whole conference again on the website. Of course, the main keynote speaker was Professor Jan Schellenhuber. He's the founder director of the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research in Potsdam. And he's a leading systems physicist and climate scientist who sort of was the mastermind also behind this idea to create a new Bauhaus movement, focusing on the challenges of today. And also in the new European Bauhaus group, which actually has a lot of creative, a lot of architects, a lot of building actors. He is also the one who strongly advocates for wood as a building material. He is part of this high-level group, which represents actually many international people. And he's really a main advocate now for the wood sector, I would say. And he actually sort of promoted or developed this concept of this forest construction pump, that if we connect forests to timber products and to buildings, this is actually a solution to decarbonize the atmosphere and actually build back from the challenges that we have from climate change. Then following this conference, we were of course very glad about the result and the outcomes. The steering group of our alliance basically worked together in the last weeks or last months on 2 joint documents. The first is a recommendation on research needs and priorities, supporting sustainable construction with nature-based materials under the European Green Deal. So a specific document suggesting what kind of research needs are actually inside the new European Bauhaus, specifically focusing on wood products and on sustainable construction. And the second document we prepared was the policy recommendations to encourage nature-based materials like wood in construction and renovation of the built environment. This is 10 recommendations developed together by these groups, and they were actually developed sort of by the request of the new European Bauhaus group, that they want to have more impact and direct impact, especially from the partners. So this was really a very nice and very prominent opportunity to give direct input to the Commission. We will still have some meetings now in the coming weeks and months, of course, to engage more with this new European Bauhaus group, specifically the coordinating group around Ruth Reichstein and the JRC people. And it's also, especially for these federations and everybody who's doing policy lobbying in Brussels since many years, they are just saying it's just getting so much attention now. We haven't seen this in the last 10 years that we are so visible and so requested at the moment. So this was really, let's say, a success story for being visible as a network, a success story to collaborate also with the other federations. And this is really an initiative we would like to continue in the next years to enhance further really the visibility of wood science and wood research in the end, together with the wood sector. So now somehow this doesn't work. And the idea we have for this platform is that the Wood4Bauhaus Alliance can, on the one hand, of course, connect all these, let's say, competences and knowledge about building with wood, linked also to circular products, long life wood products, digitalization and forest management. So in a way, the knowledge base we have already inside the alliance, or that we can, connect to the alliance, represents really the wood sector. But on the other side, this platform should reach out to all these other domains, which are becoming very active and interested now in the building sector. It has to, the Bauhaus concept is not only focusing on materials and on products, of course, it focuses on a more comprehensive approach to architecture, urban planning. How can we transform and renew cities and regions? How do we involve creative industries? How do we preserve the cultural heritage of Europe? And also, what is the social dimension of this? So it's really, the concept is large and wide, which is also a big challenge because so many people and ideas get involved. So you do not find really yet the right direction where to go. But since we are now already a member from the beginning, as an official recognized partner of the Bauhaus, we are immediately involved to all these meetings. We participate in the workshops. And as I just said earlier, we have also the direct channel to feed in our inputs and our recommendations to the Commission. And I think for Innova Wood, on the one hand, but of course our sector in general, this is really a big opportunity to get recognized as a solution in the, let's say, in the climate debate. If we manage to tell this story or this narrative that forests can provide long-lived wood products and that they can sort of help transforming the built environment, and if we even enhance the circular economy in this part, that we create buildings and products that can be recycled and can even have a longer life than they have just as a simple product, then I think we are definitely on the right track. And this will be a very strong narrative, I think, even further in the next years. If we connect the actors together, if we connect our network together, and if we showcase also all these projects and activities that are ongoing there, because this is really our, let's say, main impression we have from all these talks with architects, with designers and so on in this Bauhaus Alliance already. It is just not known enough. Yeah, wood, everybody likes wood, everybody likes forests, but they are not aware, of course, of all these potentials and of all these innovations that are already happening in the sector. So this is definitely the main narrative we want to continue with the Wood4Bauhaus Alliance, but we will also connect all these projects like Basachraun, Wood Circus, the members, the Erasmus projects to it, and sort of feed in the communication in that direction. Yeah, just showing again this nice statement, reforesting the planet and retimbering the city. And as I said, we have launched this alliance now, and Innova Wood is sort of a key player in there. But of course, we have our whole member network behind it. And that's actually also, an offer or a call to you if you would like to be more involved and more connected there. If you would like to know more about this, please reach out to us, and we can actually support this. We would be very glad also to showcase other examples inside the Wood4Bauhaus Alliance, and of course create our network in a much stronger way to make it more visible. So that was very short and compact, I hope. I have also no more slides on this part. Just to add that we are also very active, of course, together with the Forest Technology Platform, that we are participating in several meetings there. We are also connected to the Forest Value Group. I'm not sure if Mika Kalju is now here today, but we are reaching out to all the other networks. We collaborate also with EFI in several projects together now directly. So the idea is, of course, also to have Innova Wood more connected in the whole research community. And so that's our main goal for the next years, to grow our network, make it more visible, and get even more connected on the European level, so that we can actually impact and influence, also the research policy for the future. Please, with this, I just want to open the discussion here, and thoughts from your side, how you think Innova Wood should continue, how Innova Wood can follow this path. And I'm happy to hear any of your thoughts and your feedbacks there. Eric, would you like to start with something as a board member?
Just to say that there's already a question in the chat.
Okay. Okay, Yannis, do you want to speak?
Hello, Uwe. Hi to
everybody. Hello, Yannis. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Yes, since the conference, we've been having some local discussions and initiatives. It's interesting enough that the mayor of the capital of the region was well aware of that, and he's actually asking, how do we go forward? And that's a question we ourselves have as well, because we talked to the region and the structural funds, that's why I mentioned it, and they had no idea, they had no clue. So to add to that, an engineer from the technical services, what? building with wood? No way. So obviously there is a lot to do with information and I don't know, awareness raising campaigns, but maybe we should try to figure out ways to go more aggressively to that. I'm not sure what. I'm just, opening the floor to everybody's. Probably we have to go local, regional, national, and EU. EU, obviously, I guess that Innova Wood and all the big networks are helping a lot. But then it's probably also up to us a little bit to think of ways of informing more and changing the mindset, because this is all about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And there are many differences in Europe. I mean, in some regions, wood construction is known or is very advanced. In others, it's not at all known, and you get this kind of reactions, what you are just saying. And there is definitely the possibility, to share more knowledge and to make people more aware about this. And that is also why in the European Bauhaus, actually, the regional funds and the regional policies are very, very important. We have seen on the kickoff conference of the Bauhaus, the Commissioner Ferreira is very invested. Together, it's the Commissioner for Research and Development, and it's the Commissioner for Rural and Regional Policies, actually, who are invested in there. So this regional connection and structural fund, as you say, this is the main target for this Bauhaus Initiative. What they have launched first is this prize competition. So the Bauhaus has opened a call for best practices, you could say, and nice examples. And they will soon nominate, I don't know, a group of let's say, showcases. But the whole database that they collected and of applications was really very impressive already. So a lot of examples, nice examples from wood innovations on all levels. Not, of course, all in wood, but you always see that wood is also prominent inside. And I think you can use that in your regional activities with your clusters to make this more known, to share actually these best practices. And yeah, we will also start setting up projects, I guess, that are really focusing on the regional level. Then there are actually already 2 calls in the Horizon Europe program, which also refer to the new European Bauhaus. One deadline is, I think, already in October or September, where it's more like, some of these demo projects. I think they want to have 5 national, or let's say 5 European Bauhaus lighthouse projects. There are the applications already running, and there is a second deadline, I think, in February 2022. It's a second call also aiming at the European Bauhaus, where you have more possibilities to present regional solutions. And yeah, I think we can look into that together. Yeah, also if this is something suitable for these regional actors.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I may add on what you said, if there is, I take the opportunity of the wide network, if there is a proposal under development for the first or the second call that you mentioned, then obviously in our case, we don't have a demo, but we would strongly be interested in becoming something like a follower area, region, or whatever, so that we learn from what the others are doing and trying to adapt it to our own case. We would specifically be interested on how we could use wood to improve the energy efficiency or the improvement of facades and everything of buildings, because there are big programs going on at the moment in Greece. So I think that would be a nice direction we could take. But in general, learn more about this. So just leave it on the table.
Okay. Please, more comments, more thoughts. Nobody wants to take the floor?
No, well, one comment from my side, Uwe, is about the Wood4Bauhaus. I mean, this is basically it's an alliance that we have created as Innova Wood, and the idea is that this alliance will continue as far as we are able to create new initiatives under this umbrella. So I would like that all the people of Innova would think of this alliance rather than, I would say, let me call it Innova Wood and friends in this sense. So we have a basic role there. We have a main role there, but besides that, we have as friends, as different projects and different industries associations. I mean, remember that we as research institutions, the university of RTOs, one of the main role is to do this transference to society, and that's basically this Wood4Bauhaus. It's a tool for us. So its success will depend on what we propose. If we propose to to prepare and to create new conferences or new policy recommendations or whatever. So to be honest, there is a lot of freedom to propose their things. Yeah. So this is basically an opportunity. Maybe sometime from time to time we thought as universities, as RTO also complain about how we can reach or society, or how we can reach industry. So this is a tool.
Yes.
This is
a lot of attention immediately from the beginning. So that's why we had so many followers immediately. And in the conference, we had, of course, researchers. We had our Innova Wood members participating, but we had also a lot of companies participating. Yeah. So this is one direction where we really want to go further, to talk to them, to involve them also in these kind of recommendations or whatever we are doing there. Yeah. Because that is when the European Commission will also listen to us. If you only come as one research institute and say, hey, I have a problem, I need more money for whatever, they will not listen to you. But if you come on with such an alliance and such many actors behind it, then you have a different statement there. Yeah. To put it in figures, I mean, the things that the first conference, we thought Uwe said more than 1,000 attendees. 1,000 people interested in that. 1,000. This is like a rock star concert, something like that. I mean, it's Yeah. So it's a huge amount of people where we can have the kind of influence. Also, the people from the Bauhaus were completely surprised that we managed to mobilize so many people. They thought of a small meeting, I don't know, with 50 people or so, but no, it was a big event in the end. So yeah, as I said, if you are interested to be involved there, please reach out to us, and there are ways to do it. If you have a conference to organize about wood and about building and materials, we can label it a Wood4Bauhaus event. Yeah, it's your event. We will maybe support you. We can give you some support in the communication and so on. But it's actually a possibility for us to be more visible and to link many things to it. Yeah, we are thinking of another conference, but we are also thinking about workshop from Bazachaun, for example, about the digitalization tool. This could be a webinar which is more specifically focusing on one aspect, but which will be open to anybody who is interested in this Wood4Bauhaus idea. Tom, you are nodding. Do you want to say something or some thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be part of the Innova Wood network, especially as a starter. So I'm looking forward for future meetings and especially to be part of the network, and such a broad network. Mm-hmm. Beforehand, my predecessor was not in the network, and I see a lot of possibilities here, with the equipment and especially on scientific and teaching parts, and also conferences. So I think it's a good moment to start. Yeah.
Just some comments, Uwe. I also think I agree to what you said, and it's really exciting now that Innova Wood now has reached a critical mass of impact, so that people and legislation and this was listened to us. And I think it's very important that we are starting to considering in the inclusion of industries, and that's also that dimension. Looking towards that, both in the cooperation between the universities, institutes, and industries, but also, as you said, getting the EU to listen to us when we have something to say. If you have a lot of industries backing your agenda, and we can speak with quite a large voice then afterwards, then I think that's a really nice path to go down.
Mm. Yeah, you see that also in the funding programs. Of course, this is not, let's say, the topic of basic research or the main research activities, but if you can make your activities more relevant to industry, and if you also can include them, of course, in consortia and in projects, as we managed to do in Basachraun. Yeah, that was the success of Basachraun, that we had such a wide range of industry partners and innovations inside. This is probably one thing to go, or one direction to consider more. Yeah, we have developed also several other proposals last year, or supported these kind of proposals, where you always try to look at what kind of innovations in wood can be there and how can they probably become a market or a new product with some potential. And these kind of activities are really, I think, key to consider. This is where actually the European funding is going even further, yeah, in the Horizon Europe program. But on the other side, I also pick up on what Tom just said. So I think there's also a big benefit for us, or a possibility to connect better the research actors directly, yeah, so that they are more exchanged directly, that we get to know better the network. That's why we want to use this newsletter. That's why we want to also update the website, where you all have really a profile of the participating member organizations. And we also think, for example, about having a regular event, knowing that everybody is now, let's say, open, or how you call this, accustomed to use these digital meetings. I think we can have much easier have a regular event in Innova Wood. Usually we have this physical meeting of the General Assembly once per year. This, of course, we want to keep and to continue. But we could have more meetings also in between on specific topics, or where a member wants to present something, or where there's another presentation from researchers, yeah, to have really researchers also getting involved in presenting their results. This is a possibility. Yeah, please reach out to us if you are interested in that, and if you would like us to support something. We are very busy, as you have seen, in all these projects and activities, so we will not steer this. Yeah, but Innova Wood is a network. If you are interested to launch a working group on a specific topic, just approach us. You can use our communication channels, and we will support you there. That's basically the opportunity we still have now, and it's just growing the more members we have.
And this task force, this working groups that you were talking about, it could be like if you have a research topic that you want to share or work together with people, or it could be some policy document that you need to develop that could be of interest of more. Yeah, we're a network. We have to use it to network.
Okay, more feedback, more thoughts. Otherwise, we can also close it for today. Tomorrow we have another day. Tomorrow morning is the General Assembly meeting, so this will be about the formalities and the things that we have to do. But we will definitely also discuss this possibility of membership. We want to involve more companies. We want to grow the network. So please join also tomorrow morning, and also bring your contributions there. So thanks a lot for everybody who joined today, and thanks for the nice presentations, especially from the new members. Again, welcome that you are on board, and we hope to meet you also very soon when we can travel again. But at the moment, it has to be these digital meetings. So thanks a lot for everybody, and have a nice day today, and we see each other again tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Nice to
Bye-bye.
meet everyone. Bye bye.
Take care.